This is Jared with MetalsPeak. Today I'm reviewing the latest release from Molotov Solution. It's called Insurrection. It was released on October 25th, 2011 through the Blackheart Group. It's a follow-up to the band's 2009 release, The Harbinger, which came out on Metal Blade Records. So the band's got a new label home, plus they've got a new guitarist, a new bassist, and a new drummer. Now, if you're like me and if you felt that The Harbinger was one of the more solid releases of 2009, and if you're at all nervous about how the band's sound may have changed in the wake of a near-total lineup change, let me just say that not only is Insurrection just as good as The Harbinger, it's probably better. Now, before we get into the ratings of the album, I'm going to go ahead and preface this discussion by saying that this is a relatively positive review of a deathcore album. If you don't like deathcore, I don't know why you're listening to this. If you have any intention of flaming me for liking this, I really don't give a shit. If you don't have time for my blast beats and my breakdowns, I certainly don't have time for you, your hipster bullshit, or your beardo opinions. So go fuck yourself. On that note, we'll go ahead and jump into the ratings. For brutality, we're going to give this a 9 out of 10. Honestly, this is one of the most vicious albums I have heard all year. The opening track, Sin and Sacrifice, pulls no punches, absolutely kills straight out the door. The second track is called Injustice for All. It is a very urgent track, very fast-paced, has kind of a cool at-the-gates thing going on. Awesome lead work on it, so very definitely a face melter there. Then you've got songs towards the end of the album like Collapse and Signals that have just kind of a very urgent, kind of throbbing beat to them that really drives it into the ground and really just lays to waste everything in their path. So very, very solid songs all around. If you're a fan of deathcore, you're going to love this because the breakdowns are sick as fuck. Lots of 808 drops to be had. The vocals are absolutely just vicious. They spew venom in every direction. They pretty much spend all their time in the low end of the register. I don't think there's any gang shots on this thing, which is a good thing for me. It's just pure unadulterated rage coming out of that guy's mouth, and it's just fucking awesome. So very, 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 very angry, pissed off, rage-fueled album. So definitely worth a 9. As far as songwriting goes, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. It's deathcore, so of course the songwriting is going to be relatively basic, maybe a little more death than core. Very competent guitar work, some very solid leads on songs like Injustice for All. You got some decent tap work going on the 5th track, Divide and Conquer. So, very, very good musicianship on this thing. Nothing that's overly technical or that's going to really have any of you guitar nerds fawning over them. But definitely, definitely some solid songwriting there. Really, the strength of this album, and I think the strength of the last album, is the lyrical intelligibility, and that translates to some very strong vocal hooks. I think that was really a strength on The Harbinger, and I think it's really working for him on this one. You can definitely tell what he's saying. It's not just that kind of mush mouth going on. And you can really hear everything he's saying, especially on the opening track with Sin and Sacrifice, kind of the chorus, the worship of a false idol under false pretenses. Your faith has failed you. Feel the hate when you're burning at the stake. Crucified for your crimes against humanity. I mean, you hear all that, and it just hits you right in the face when he's screaming it. It's the same with The Blood of Tyrants, and even I think it's Divide and Conquer, and even like the title track Insurrection. We won't change for this world. We'll change this world for us. Fuck your world. You can have it. The difference between us and you is that you're killing innocents and we're killing you. I mean, all of it just really hits you in the face. It's very anthemic. It's very catchy the way it's delivered. The beats are timed perfectly with the vocals to make sure it just has that very raw, visceral impact. So very, very strong there. The vocal hooks and coupled with the guitars, it just really sticks to the ribs. So very, very catchy on that end. Very strong anti-government, anti-religion, anti-capitalism themes, which are oddly timely given the Occupy Wall Street protests that have been happening here recently. Now, that's where me and the band probably are going to part ways philosophically. I agree with most of what they're saying on here. There's a couple of things I take issue with. But for the most part, I'm able to look past it because the music is just that sick. So they get a free pass from me on that one. So very, very good. Production-wise, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. This album was recorded and produced by Will Putney from Fit for an Autopsy at his machine shop. This album just sounds killer. Very thick guitar tone, very crunchy guitar tone. The vocal production is right on target. The drums sound awesome. Everything's in its place. So, Will, you did a very good job on this one. Very proud of you. As far as repeat listenability goes, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. You know, I have a very raw, emotional, visceral reaction to this album. It just hits me in all the right spots. It's got some great beats. It's got great guitar work. It's got great breakdowns. You know, this is the kind of music I need if I'm, working out or need to get going in the morning, or maybe coming off a bad day and just kind of need that cathartic release. This is just the kind of angry, rage-fueled shit that I'm gonna gravitate towards to kind of get that stuff out of my system. So. Very solid front to back listen. If I were to pick a favorite track on here, I'd say my favorite track is probably Collapse. Definitely followed by the title track, Insurrection. I love Injustice for All. The Blood of Tyrants is pretty solid too. So, I do have my favorites, but as far as just a very solid, consistent front to back listen, I really enjoy going back to this album. So it's definitely the kind of album I need this time of year. Especially. So love it. Artwork, giving this a 7 out of 10. Now I only have the digital copy, so all I've seen is the cover. It's not a bad cover. It's got some like naked women figures kind of fawning at the feet of this kind of hooded figure in this weird forest, and I guess it's okay. Really, what I don't like about it is the colors are very kind of neutral. You have some grays that kind of wash out with these kind of earth-toned reds, and it's just, from a color scheme standpoint, it's very non-committal, and just it wasn't what I was expecting. I thought the artwork on their last album was a lot more hard-hitting, a lot more impactful, and I'm just not really that impressed with what they've got going on this one. So, I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. So overall, 8.4 out of 10 is the score I'm going to confer on this album. Very, very solid outing from a very talented band. Again, this thing will just rip your face off, leave you bloodied on the ground if this is the kind of stuff you're into. If you love death metal, I'm sure there's something for you to like here. If you like deathcore, I know you're going to like it. Very solid release. I'm very much looking forward to seeing these guys when they come out with Chimera and Unearth in December. And yeah, if you're a fan of just brutal, pissed off, politically charged music, this is definitely something you're going to want to check out. So, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.